Hello, friends. Welcome to the weekly Prepper Pantry Haul with the Cold War Prepper. And I'm going to start explaining a lot more about different things and the reasons why, because I know there may be some people who are new to prepping and just coming in. They might want to understand why I do some of the things the way I do. And so I'll try to explain that as we go along. So I buy things staggered. I try not to buy a case of anything too often, simply because I want varied shelf rotation dates. For example, if you buy a case of, in today's example, I'll have a case of pepperoni pizza slices from the MREs. And so that's 12. So that means that they all have to be rotated out of the pantry at the same time or before the same time. So by buying things individually, one at a time, once a month or whatever, you have staggered rotation dates. And that way, you can kind of use them up as you go. I write with a Sharpie on my cans the day I put them into rotation. I am not that concerned about best by dates. And so you'll see a lot of people who will put best by dates on their cans when they put them in rotation. I started the process of just putting it the day I bought it back in the, 80s. And so it's just one of those habits I don't want to change. And so whatever you do, just be consistent. Either put the day you buy it or the day that the best buy is. So sometimes, when you have things like beans and rice and sugar and flour, it doesn't have a use by or best by date on it. That's why I decided to go with just one consistent day I put it in the pantry date. So while I was out in the garage working and on things, I found an INSCOM patch. So I was ASA, and that went my first time with Border Site Command, and then when I was at Field Station Augsburg the first time, and then halfway through the second time, that went up on top, the Screaming Eagle, is what we wore. And then in 1977, ASA and MI merged to form INSCOM, the Intelligence and Security Command. Oh, I wore that one when I was at NSA too, the ASA. And so this is what we wear now for any of those major assignments. So if you see soldiers wearing this at Fort Meade, they're working at NSA. But anyhow, so I found that and added it to my group. So I'm still looking for some of the other patches. This is 207th MI Brigade in Stuttgart, Germany. It was the MI Brigade that supported 7th Corps. So I was in both the 511th MI Battalion, which was tactical exploitation, intercept and jamming. And then I was also in the 307th MI Battalion, which was analysis and reporting. So I was the analysis and reporting technician for the 307th MI Battalion. Okay, so what did we get? A thing of twine, a can of butane fuel for my single burner stove, a can of stir fry vegetables. I will be doing a little bit of stir frying. I think that's just a fantastic thing to emulate in a post-apocalyptic world. Some fire roasted diced tomatoes with green chilies. I think this might be the generic brand of the Great Value brand of basically Rotel tomatoes. One of the deficiencies, and gosh, I can't believe this. Well, I had a wind-up alarm clock, and I just can't find it since the move. But one of the deficiencies I have is I have a Victorinox battery-operated. So Victorinox makes the Swiss Army knife, battery-operated wristwatch. And I'm afraid that it might not work in a post-apocalyptic world. And the other thing is I might not be able to find batteries in a post-apocalyptic world. So I wanted to get a wind-up watch. I ended up getting a Timex. Looks a little bit more military. And then I also got a wind-up alarm clock so that we'll have consistent time-telling capabilities. Picked up a couple spices, ginger and ground paprika, roasted paprika, or paprika, whichever way you prefer. I am going to go to Sam's. I want to get a larger thing of paprika, and I also need some more ginger. That goes with the fire roasted tomatoes and the stir fry vegetables for the stir fries. Now, let's talk about soups real quick. I get 3 different kinds of soups, and it just depends on what your goals are. One of my goals is I intend to feed the neighborhood at least 1 meal a day for a short while. And I'm going to do that using Bear Creek dehydrated freeze-dried foods. Now, these will typically feed 8 people. So in this case, I picked up a package of creamy potato, and I'm going to add to it a can of whole kernel corn and a can of cream style corn and turn this into a corn chowder type of a meal. Now you can also add in a can of diced ham, and that would really, really kick it up there another level. But now we're talking about the possibility of feeding 10 people a meal with this one. Now, the disadvantage of this is if water is going to be an issue for you, don't go with dehydrated, freeze-dried soups. Now, another thing is the next step up is we can go with the condensed soups. So I do have a whole bunch of Bear Creek chicken noodle soups, and you want a can of chicken for that, maybe some more noodles. You can add some chicken noodle condensed soup, but once again, this requires water in order to get it fully expanded out there. So this is the second type. So this is a little bit more liquidy in the can, but you do need to thin it out a little bit with a can of water. The third type of soup I pick up is the ready to go, ready to eat. And I got 3 cans this week. I got the pub style chicken pot pie, one of my 2 favorites, chili mac, and then my other favorite, of course, if I can find it, there it is, New England clam chowder. So those are my 2 absolute favorites. I try to pick those up on a regular basis. So I did get a $5 thing. This is just add water and put it in the window chives that you can grow on your own. Picked up some ground ginger. I told you that. Picked up, I think it was Wicked Prepared out of Maine, was talking about how she had some small bottles of cooking oil that she got at Dollar Tree. So I went there looking for that, didn't find it. I did find this smaller jar of Miracle Whip. Now I like these because Miracle Whip is one of those things you have to refrigerate after opening. So if you get the larger jars, you're not going to use that entire jar. You're going to have to throw it away unless you have some sort of refrigeration available to you. So the smaller container that you can get, the less you're going to waste and throw away. This is a replacement. We had spaghetti the other night, so this is a replacement Classico Italian sausage. Why do I buy Classico? Because it comes in the 1-pint canning jar. So once we cook this and put it and wash the jar, then we have a canning jar. So we have lids and seals that will replace this lid here. Let me see what else. So I picked up a quick disconnect sling swivel. Picked up a box of 308. I have 2 hunting rifles, a short barrel and a long rifle. I use the short barrel primarily for pig because it's a Gunsight Scout, and you can get magazines and have more than the legal, normal legal hunting limit in your magazine, whereas the Remington 700 is compliant with state law as far as maximum number of rounds you can have while out deer hunting. So 308 is one of the better hunting rounds that are available to us here. Wife was at a birthday party for a friend, so I went out to lunch and went through the drive-thru, went to Panda Express. And now, I used to own a concession stand, so I know the value of these, and it kind of bothers me when employees give away too much in the bag, but they gave me a bunch. I kept it. I'm not going to throw it away. This becomes something that you want to add to your pantry. If you go in store and you help yourself to it, please don't grab more than what you actually need, because I can tell you as an owner of a store, this stuff is expensive, and it's one of those areas where you really can cause a lot of waste and a lot of loss of income to the store by overtaking what you should be getting. Ordered some organic cranberry concentrate. I'm a big cranberry juice fan. I'm trying to find a brand that I really, really like so I can bulk order it for a post-apocalyptic world. Have plenty of Tang and other things, but cranberry juice is just one of those things that's really good for you, and it helps clean out your digestive tract and your urinary tract. So important to have. Picked up 2 tubes of lip balm, of chapstick, basically. Chapstick is a trademark name, but you know what I mean, the lip balm. The ragu for one, I did a video on this a while back, told you all about it. I like these. This is going to be a valuable barter item. It's also going to be, just something you want to have on your shelf. I go through the sale items quite often at the store, and so this was on sale for $2.50. But you've got 4 individual servings of spaghetti sauce. It'd be a fantastic thing to put in your pocket to take out when you're going out to barter. Can of pork, Keystone pork. I tell you, finding pork other than pulled pork and bacon is getting extremely difficult. I have not found a can of Yoder's bacon now in over a year. Talking with Maggie out of Florida, we were talking about how we need to upgrade our ability to communicate, write, leave notes, messages, SOPs, and stuff like that. In the post-apocalyptic world, I picked up 2 binder, some sticky notepads, some more pens and pencils, trying to keep my finger out of the lens, and I dropped it. A jar of seasoned cabbage. Those looked interesting. The bourbon barbecue Vienna sausage, we'll try those, see how they are. Another can of chunk white tuna, that's a replacement can. Then I told you about those. Then I also got a case of pepperoni pizza for MREs from Bridgeford. I love Bridgeford, it's a great company. And but this is one of those cases where I did pick up a case. So these are going to all basically have the same must rotate date. And typically I don't do that, but this was one of those where it was very cheap to get it by the case. The last thing I got was I picked up a package of 30 drops of vitamin C so that we can have some more vitamins and nutrients and everything in a post-apocalyptic world. So that's where we are. Remember that we're all in this together, so we can come out the other side together. Please be kind, polite, and respectful to each other, because togetherness is the key. Take care. Bye-bye.